World College Radio Day, a day where college radio stations across the globe unite to celebrate the most powerful medium.
Press play.
The day college radio comes together around the world.
Turn your radio up as loud as possible. Turn them radios up. I love it. Welcome, my friends, to
World College Radio Day.
College Radio Day.
The whole world is on the air.
Tune in on October 6th to hear the world come together. World College Radio Day.
It's a pleasure for us to having you here, Karin Björkland. Thank you so much for joining us. This is for Agencia Central de Noticias and Sintopía Radio from Universidad Central. So,
thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for receiving us. Karin, what is the purpose of the World College Radio Day?
When World College Radio Day was founded, it started as a small North American collaboration, and in 2012 it became global. And its purpose was for student radio stations to connect all over the world and to bring forward this amazing craft and these amazing people that do this in their spare time, and bring forward how important it is for students, of course, but all people to have their own media outlets and free speech, and encourage free speech all over the world.
Awesome. About the subjects you guys choose for this event, why do you think it's necessary to talk about the future in radio if we already talk about that in classes from the college?
It is important to talk about media and the role that media plays in today's society. Just the fact that we can do this broadcast shows that media is global today. So it's a lot quicker, it's a lot faster, and that means that there can be some issues with that, but also many pros with having a global media. And that means that we will face different media outlets and different issues concerning media and the information that we put forward at a younger age. And that means that we have to talk about these issues from a younger age and prepare ourselves and cultivate a good, for instance, a good online community and culture where every single person's voice is valued and met with respect. And that's why we have to talk about it sooner, and definitely at school.
And sounds very interesting, of course. I want to ask you, Sweden is the host of the event this year. What represents this honor for you?
The fact that we received this this honor to host this year's broadcast, it was first of all, it was sort of a coincidence that we even started to participate in the World College Radio Day. And we've participated ever since the start in 2012, and I don't really know why they chose Sweden, but it's definitely an honor, and we want to respond with the best broadcast that we can produce. And many times Sweden and Scandinavian countries in particular are usually at the top of the most democratic nations in the world, and usually the best in the world at free speech. And this is something that we want to encourage and show that other nations have just as fantastic producers and just as fantastic students as we have. And this is an opportunity to bring those forward as well.
Well, Karin, how do you see the future bringing for college radio stations?
I see it as a fairly bright future for college radio stations. I think that media as an industry faces a lot of issues and many problems. But one thing that we see with college radio is that we have these volunteers and people doing this because they have a very passionate interest in media, in radio, in journalism, in broadcasting in general. And that passion is something that is required to produce good material and stories that need to be heard by other people. Media as an industry, as I said, I think is facing many issues because we have the technology now to produce our own material and produce our own news. So to maintain a good media industry, that can be a bit tricky. But I think that just because we have these technological advances in the world, we can definitely bring forward a better student college radio.
Awesome. My last question will be, what can we expect in this sixth version of the event?
What can we expect from this year's broadcast? Well, I can give you a little tidbit from my segment. I'll be producing the first segment that will start at midnight Swedish time, so I don't know exactly when. I think that will be around 5 o'clock p.m.
5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
The theme for this year is the end of the world as we know it, and I think that is a very interesting theme. So I decided to talk to several people that have some sort of connection to it, and that is one world famous diplomat who is the official ambassador for us this year. It's Mr. Hans Blix, who, among many things, was the Director General of the IAEA and also led the inspection in Iraq in 2002, 2003, and whether or not the Saddam Hussein regime had weapons of mass destruction. I've interviewed him and talked to him about his career in diplomacy and how he feels about the future and also his career and what he sees as challenges to come. I've talked to a professor in civic courage who used to teach at Harvard about how we as human beings carry a little bit of a moral obligation to help each other out when things are tough. And I've also talked to a zombie apocalypse survival expert.
Awesome. It's a great, information for all of us to hear and be tuned with this broadcasting you are doing. Karin, thank you very much for having us. We will be, of course, listening to you, and it's a pleasure for us to have this conversation with you.
It's an honor for us as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Día Mundial de la Radio Universitaria.
World College Radio Day.
Celebración mundial que promueve la visibilidad de la radio universitaria.
A través de una programación creativa.
Dentro de un espíritu enmarcado en la libertad y la multiculturalidad.
Más de 700 estaciones de radio de 40 países del mundo.
Viernes 6 de octubre.
Suecia será el país anfitrión de la Maratón Mundial.
Este año nos dedicaremos a analizar, ¿será el fin del mundo? Estamos pasando por una agitación de cambios y la inseguridad está en todas partes, en la política, la economía y el medio ambiente. ¿De qué manera los estudiantes de todo el mundo ven el futuro? ¿Cuáles son sus mayores esperanzas y temores?
Mayor información en www.worldcollegeradioday.com.
Día Mundial de la Radio Universitaria.
World College Radio Day.
Viernes 6 de octubre.
Apoya la red de radio universitaria de Colombia.
My first question is, it is a fact that the radio is changing with the time. How do you see the evolution for college radio stations at this moment?
Yes, so technology is changing. People listen to radio in very different ways, absolutely. But I still think that student radio is very, very important because, number one, it plays music and it plays programming, radio programs that you're not going to hear anywhere else. And also, it's a very, very important training ground and a place where students learn how to become broadcasters, and not just broadcasters, but also more effective, better communicators. Do you want to add to that?
Okay.
Sí, pues lo que nosotros estamos haciendo aquí en nuestra emisora es buscando formas de incluir el internet, la red al radio. Por ejemplo, todas las formas que la gente nos puede escuchar es por aplicaciones móviles o si van a la página de internet, hay que cambiar. Es que es la verdad que la tecnología ha cambiado bastante con radio y nosotros tenemos que buscar formas de adaptar a esos cambios. Y para todas las universitarias, pues, las emisoras universitarias, tenemos que buscar formas para la gente escucharlos, no tanto mucho en el carro, pero en formas del internet.
Like different, yes. Because talking about that, how do you see the future for analog college radio stations?
Okay, that's a difficult question because each country in the world has a different approach to traditional FM, AM radio stations. Now, here in the USA, we have seen now some quite significant and quite big and popular student radio FM stations, analog, being sold or turned off or shut down. And this is a bad thing, and this has started to happen in the last few years. However, there are hundreds of student radio stations in this country. College radio is very, very successful still. And so we're not that worried or concerned just yet. And college radio is still very, very important and still has a large audience that we feel as if it's not going to die, but we do have to fight for what we have, to keep what we have. Do you want to add to that?
I think that was a good answer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. I know after the release of podcasting, which could be the next step for digital college radio stations?
You have that one.
It's a difficult one.
It is a very difficult one. All right. Bueno, parece que los estudiantes están buscando una forma de incluir podcasting en sus clases y más en radio o en radio digital. Sí, el podcasting se está haciendo muy popular y I don't know how to answer this. This is a really tough question. What do you think?
Well, okay, so podcasting is important. Podcasting is the most successful new media format in terms of how people choose to listen to non-music, right? We're talking talk, speech content. The thing that we have to do is get the students to produce radio or produce content in that format, because podcasting is so massively popular, very, very successful. So it's nothing to be afraid of from college radio, student radio perspective. If anything, student radio students and presenters should be embracing podcasting to help promote their shows and to promote their content. Use podcasts as a way to get out what they're doing on radio.
Okay.
There is an event that brings the world together, and that event is called World College Radio Day.
K103 Göteborgs studentradio vill fira World College Radio Day med just dig.
Terveisiä Suomenlahdesta. Sinä kuuntelet maailman opiskelijaradiopäivää World College Radio Day 2017.
World College Radio Day is coming on Friday, October 6th, and student broadcasters from around the world will unite to celebrate the unique medium of college radio and to connect with listeners from around the world.
Si avvicina il World College Radio Day e le radio universitarie e studentesche del network Raduni si sono già messe all'opera per raccontarvi il loro punto di vista su quanto sta avvenendo nel mondo che ci circonda. E non saranno sole, insieme a loro infatti ci saranno le emittenti universitarie di tutto il mondo. Vi aspettiamo il 6 ottobre, non prendete impegni.
So tune in on October 6th to hear the world come together. For more information, please visit worldcollegeradioday.com.
Well, the needs from the radio listeners now are different, and the internet has helped with a lot of offer and demand about this content. In which way the college radio stations are racing with all the things you can find in the internet?
So what is the question?
¿Cómo estamos compitiendo las emisoras estudiantiles respecto al contenido que nos presenta la internet, que más que todo es entretenimiento? O sea, because, you know, the college radio has like 3 ends, inform, entertain, and educate, no? So Right. In which ways we are like competing with the content we can find in internet.
Right. Well, so the thing about the internet is that you can find a lot of content, absolutely. But the thing about college radio is that college radio has a certain amount of authenticity because it's coming from students, who's coming from people who feel like, for example, particularly with music and with programming, the students are very, very sincere. They care a lot about what they're doing on the air. Now, when you work in media professionally, you can, after many years, become a little bit jaded or tired or whatever. The students have passion, the students have energy, and the students really care about what they're doing. So there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, absolutely. And you can listen, to music on YouTube or Spotify or Pandora. There's a lot of places you can listen to music, but you won't get the passion of why that music means so much. But you won't get the stories of how that music has changed people's lives. College radio will give you the stories and give you the true passion from students who it means the world to them. They've not got to the point in their lives where professionally they are jaded or they are cynical. Would you agree with that?
Sí, lo que digo yo estoy de acuerdo con él. Es que, sí, es la verdad que entretenimiento está todo en el internet. Es muy fácil a la gente escuchar cosas que no sinceramente valen la pena o no es de educación. Pero los muchachos los jóvenes, del colegio, tienen una voz muy importante. Una voz que a veces cambia la forma de pensar del gobierno, de la sociedad, del público, de todos. Y hay gente que le gusta escuchar a ver qué la generación del futuro quiere decir. Y si es para educar la población o para mostrar canciones nuevas al mundo, es algo muy importante. Eso es lo que trae el colegio universitario.
Well, my last question about the information I just gave you, because, well, as I told you before, our aim is like inform, educate, and entertain. Which one of those three options do you think has a priority currently?
That's an excellent question. Okay, so we are living in interesting times. We're living in potentially very dangerous times, right? Where the term fake news is very famous right now in this country, in the United States of America. So for me, from my perspective right now, college radio has a duty to inform the truth, inform the audience the truth, to educate them as to what is real and what is not real. There are a lot of media outlets out there that are very, very keen to have audiences and to entertain. I think we should be more concerned with telling the truth and with getting proper information out there to educate our listeners than with seeking huge audience sizes or ratings. I think our responsibility is to be truthful and to be a beacon of truth in a world that is increasingly biased and full of outright lies, in my opinion.
Yo creo que los más importantes son los tres. Buscar una forma para informar, educar y entretener al público. Y ojalá encontramos una forma para hacer los tres, pero sí, yo creo que los tres en uno es el más importante.
Well, thank you very much for receiving us, for having us. It's a pleasure, and also we will wait this October 6th, the 6th, to hear you guys. So we are very excited here in my college, and we want to make part of this World College Radio Day.
Well, thank you for joining us. And I think what you'll hear now is that we have, I think, 30 countries around the world are participating. We've got over 400 college radio stations. And on this one day, we speak different languages, we have different cultures, and all of that is fantastic. And we all come together, we all unite to celebrate the importance of college radio and what we do. So it's a really great day.
Sí, muchas gracias, Alejandra, por su tiempo y por la entrevista. Y sí, nos vemos el 6 de octubre y que va a ser un día muy especial para todos en este mundo.
Correcto. Perfecto.
Sí.
Muchísimas gracias y por supuesto vamos a estar muy pendientes de esta emisión. Sebastián, Rob, thank you very much.
Gracias.
Gracias.